It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias. Your best of bias. Yeah, it's the best of bias.
You are now listening to the Best of Bias Podcast with Lydell Dinero and Hugo Twilight.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Lydell Dinero, and it's time for another episode of the Best of Bias Podcast. You already know what time it is, man. Check your watch, and it's time for another episode. Hey, we're doing pop culture today, but before all that, we got some guests in the house, of course. Go ahead and introduce yourself, guests.
AKA, you already know that.
AKA in the building. Who else we got in the building today?
We got Sean E in the building.
You know what I'm saying? Sean E, what's up? We had him on a couple episodes, actually an episode back a couple, I think it might have been this year before the draft. We did a mock draft together, me, you, and Kyle. Yeah, if you haven't heard that episode, go check it out and check how accurate we were with this year's draft. You know what I'm saying? But he's back to talk some of this pop culture me and AKA talk every week. But yeah, it's time. You guys ready for some pop culture? You guys been up on game the last couple weeks, been hearing about the crazy shit out there in the media.
So much happening.
Yeah. There's a lot happening, a lot to get to. I'm happy I got some people in the building with an introspective point of view that can kind of get it out there to the people and talk about some feelings they might have too. But first and foremost, I'm going to go over these NFL scores for those who may not have seen and those who did see. I want to show some teams some love too. I'm going to start with the Rams. The Rams and the 49ers played this past Monday. The 49ers took that one, demolished the Rams. Matthew Stafford had another bad game. The Rams are really hyped right now, and it's starting to look like Matthew Stafford is going back into his old ways. At the beginning of the season, he was kind of like showing out, but again, they had a lighter schedule in the beginning. They're starting to face some tougher opponents, and Matthew Stafford is kind of reverting back into the Matthew Stafford we know. After Robert Woods getting hurt and Odell Beckham being acquired and Von Miller being acquired, they were expected to like shoot off and be that Super Bowl team, the top team in the NFC. But not much has been going on. You guys see that game?
Yeah, I did definitely watch that game for sure.
Yeah, that shit was a whopping, and it's kind of crazy because the last couple of weeks, so there's been a lot of lopsided scores, and teams that were supposed to win have been getting blown out, and it's been crazy. But enough of that. Next game, Chiefs and the Raiders. The Chiefs are kind of getting their mojo back. They've been kind of slipping the first couple of weeks. Everybody thought Patrick Mahomes was falling off, but they're kind of in Travis Kelce as well. Everybody thought, it's kind of just a, flash in the pan. They weren't going to really be what they've been in the past, that 3-time making it to the Super Bowl team. But they're getting it back together, beat the Raiders 41-14, put it on them. The Raiders haven't been the same since the John Gruden and all the other shit's been happening. Seahawks 17-0. They lost to the Packers. Russell Wilson's first game back after getting his finger fractured and fixed and all that shit. We thought he would come back and actually bring a spark to the team, but he got blown out. 17-0. They didn't really do shit. Eagles, actually, the Eagles are putting together a couple of games. They beat the Broncos 30-13. Jalen Hurts is actually showing that he is, improving. That's the thing I like about Jalen Hurts. He always shows that he's willing to get better, and he shows improvement no matter what happens. He'll start off kind of bad, but then he'll show that he's putting in the work. And he signed the Young Money, signed a Lil Wayne sports agency, so I'm always going to support that. Vikings-Chargers. Vikings beat the Chargers 27-20. Oh, man, I can't talk right now. But yeah, Justin Herbert, my boy. I got a little Funko Pop of him back there I just acquired, man. Representing Oregon, man. He was doing so well at the beginning of the season, but he slipped the last couple of games, got blown out a couple of times, and now he lost to the lowly Vikings. Man, we don't know what's happening. People are saying, was he better than Patrick Mahomes? He's like, what? You know what I mean? I don't know.
I don't know that. Yeah, I hear you.
He's still early in the game, but it's like he is still a lot to
learn. The Vikings are a bad team, though. The Vikings are actually, to me, a decent team.
I feel like they should be good every year. They just can't get out of their own way. And Kirk Cousins isn't really that good. That's why I can never really
look
put
at
too
the
much
division
stake
they play in. They got Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? It's tough.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. And
it's tough. No matter who you got at quarterback, you got Aaron Rodgers. So it's tough.
Yep. No matter what. But yeah, with all that shit going on with him and the COVID shit, should it really count if he wins the Super Bowl? He lied. Give him the asterisk, especially if he beats us in the NFC Championship. Fuck that. We pulling that card.
Right.
It don't count.
Yeah.
We getting the rematch.
It all depends on what happens in the postseason. If they lose, then it was karma. If he wins, then fuck that.
Asterisk. But anyways, yeah, Panthers versus Cardinals, another surprise victory, 34-10. Cardinals got their asses whooped. Still no Kyler Murray. I think the D-Hop didn't play either. So I mean, this was the opportunity for the Cardinals to get. The Panthers to win one if they were going to win one. Cam's returned to Carolina. He scored a couple touchdowns out there. After he scored a rushing touchdown, took off his helmet. I'm back. I think this might be the best thing for Carolina, making them a much scarier team towards the end of the season, especially since we play them twice in the last 3 games, which I'm not really enjoying thinking about. Next, we have Pittsburgh and the Lions game, which is one of the weirdest games of the season because these motherfuckers tied. We don't really see ties that often, but if you go into a second overtime, then you guys tie. The Steelers should be way better than they are now. They're not really showing shit. I think the fucking Lions are
college rules.
Yeah, the Lions are trash. They're 0-8, and since they tied, they're 0-8-1. It's the funniest shit. That's the craziest record of all time. The Bills recovered, bounced back after losing to the Jaguars. They won 45-17. They're still up and down, man. The Buccaneers play the Bills down the road, so I don't know what to expect yet. But hopefully, they're looking like a Super Bowl team, so I don't know. Jaguars, Colts. Colts won another game. They beat the lowly Jags. After last week, they couldn't put it together and win another game. But the Colts put that together. The Saints lost to the Titans. Titans have now won a whole bunch of games in a row. 8-2, sitting on top of the AFC. Browns and Patriots. The Patriots are surprisingly putting together a crazy string of wins with Mac Jones at the helm. Whooped the shit out of the Browns 45-7. Baker Mayfield looked like Baker Mayfield again. Belichick is really trying to show that without Tom Brady, he can still a defensive mastermind. It can still neutralize, quarterbacks and make your team look stupid, even though he might not have the best firepower and still dink and dunk you to death. They're looking good. Looking good. How you guys feel about Mac Jones? How you feel about Mac Jones, Sean?
I feel like Mac Jones is a really accurate quarterback. One of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league, even though he's a rookie.
I feel that.
He's a really accurate quarterback. And Bill Belichick, like you said, is a mastermind on defense. So they got a chance. Will they go far? No. But he's at least going to prove that, he's still Bill Belichick. You know what I mean? So whether they win a Super Bowl or not, he's still going to get to the playoffs. And he's going to do that with a rookie quarterback. So that's saying something.
I feel that. Cowboys-Falcons. Cowboys demolished the Falcons 43-3, recovering from a loss that they shouldn't have had last week. I know you guys want to take your moment to, bask in that. I don't know if you guys want to celebrate too much. It was the Falcons, but it was good to see that, that they couldn't recover. And their young team, and to see them recover in that kind of fashion is good to see. It's good to see. How about you guys? You guys are the fans. Let me know how you feel.
Oh shit! I haven't been watching football in a minute, actually, but it's always good to hear they win, especially after losing last week. So yeah.
Just how does it feel as a fan to hear that you guys are on top and being talked as Super Bowl contenders? Like, is this how does it feel?
It's about time.
Yeah.
It's the way I feel as a fan. Because a lot of our fans are fair weather fans. We can go ahead and say that. We're America's team, absolutely. But, our fans are good for jumping off the bandwagon when we're bad.
Yeah.
And then jumping right back on, the second we start having some wins. So, it's good to actually see a team that can compete. And, they got a chance this year is what I can say. Yeah. Everybody always wants to joke about, we always say it's our year. A true fan is not going to say that. A true fan is actually going to look at his team and say, man, I don't know. We don't really got the quarterback, or we don't really got this or that, or, but this year we have a chance is all I can say. There's a couple good teams in the NFC that's going to, be in our way come playoff time, but we got a real good shot. So I'm happy.
And then AKA, from your perspective as a fan that doesn't really watch as often, just to hear that they are on top and have a chance to make to the Super Bowl, how does it feel? You know what I'm saying? How are you feeling about it?
I mean, shit, I felt good. I'm just waiting to see what happens. Waiting to see if they make it, past them first couple games in the playoffs. They got the whole little curse for everything. It usually goes bad around that time, and I
And
feel
that's
like
a fucked
whenever,
up. That's kind of like a fucked up thing to say because that can happen to anybody, especially in the playoffs. It's like, of course, somebody has to
yeah, no,
lose.
yeah, but I mean, with us, it happens like
Yeah,
it was repeatedly happening again and again. It was one of them things that pissed you off. They was always either getting put on a wild card or like just almost getting there, right, getting right to the playoffs, getting knocked out.
yeah, it's frustrating.
Always,
I know all about that actually.
yeah.
Not
So
even making it to the playoffs. Not
It's
even getting
definitely
close.
frustrating, and that went on for 20 plus years. So that's why
yeah,
I'm excited about this year because we actually have a chance. I haven't felt like
yeah,
we had a chance in quite some time. So
I
we
feel
actually
that.
we actually got a chance, man. So
yeah.
I feel that. Good to hear. Good to hear. But then we had the Ravens way back in the day. It was last Thursday. Ravens lost to the Dolphins surprisingly 22-10. And now let me get to these motherfucking Buccaneers. All right. Let me pull this mic a little closer to my goddamn face. The Buccaneers lost to the motherfucking Washington football team 29-19. So let me tell you how this happened. First of all, I'm not gonna blame this all on Tom Brady, but Tom Brady put us in the hole at the beginning. That happens. We have to play extra hard to come back usually in these Buccaneers games, especially when it comes to teams that have shifty kind of fast receivers. Because as I talked about a lot, our secondary is decimated. Top 4 corners on our team all hurt. We playing with 5th, 6th string practice squad guys, and we putting them out there like they actually gonna stop receivers that get paid in the NFL to score touchdowns. These niggas can't stop anything at all.
give Tom Brady his criticism, though. Give Tom Brady
No,
his criticism.
that second interception was trash, but we should be able to stop people on 3rd and 12, on 3rd and 19. We don't ever do that. No matter what Tom Brady does, he'll make up for it with scoring. He'll have
I'm
a
saying,
bad
but just
drive.
don't let Uncle Tom off the
Oh
off the
no,
hook.
no, those interceptions were terrible. He's been throwing bad
Don't
interceptions.
let Thomas
But
off
our
the hook, man. Is all
defense
I'm
should
saying.
definitely be able to stop. We have been playing backup quarterbacks. They should be able to get the ball right back to Tom Brady. He makes a mistake, I get it, but he's gonna make up for it. You know that. Just give him not 11-minute drive. They let this man have 11-minute drive. We were down by 3 points, and they had the ball like at the 10-yard line. They drove all the way down the field, 11 minutes to run the score out. If we got the ball back at all, made one stop. There's like 4 third downs on that drive. We didn't stop 1 third down. If we would have stopped 1 down 3, giving Tom Brady the ball back, do you think we would have won?
You would have had a better chance.
Yes.
You'd have had a better chance.
Statistically, I was here. The Washington football team had the worst pass defense in the league, and they did what they. It was a terrible game.
Didn't Chase Young got hurt this game or the game?
He got
before?
hurt this game. It was a crazy injury. Donovan Smith kind of just pushed him on the shoulder, and his leg just kind of went wrong. Yeah, it was an interesting game. We had him at 3rd and 5 twice. We jumped off sides, gave him first downs. It's just a lot of stupid shit that we could have capitalized off and won after, because the interceptions were in the first quarter. They're in the first quarter. So after that, if we would have made one stop, we would, because he started to come back the whole game. We were down by 3 in the 4th quarter, but our defense couldn't stop shit. So until our corners get better, I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do. We got the Giants coming up this week. Hopefully we don't get embarrassed on Monday Night Football at home. Hopefully we get some of our corners back. Nah, man, fuck all that. So yeah, we're gonna see. I'm hoping to put a 45 burger on them. We probably will. We ain't getting repeated last week. Yeah. But yeah, that's enough of that. I'm getting off my soapbox. So Monday we're gonna see. We're gonna be back on top. Don't worry about it. But into these real topics though. Let's talk about these real topics. Let's see. Starting with Disney Plus's 2-year anniversary, they dropped a whole bunch of shit that they're gonna drop in cohesion, I want to say, with Marvel. Of course, we already got WandaVision. We already got What If Season 1 and Loki. Falcon and Winter Soldier, all that shit. But we got plenty more coming. They wanted to let us know. Starting with a bunch of trailers they gave us, starting with Moon Knight. We talked a couple of times about Moon Knight, aka about it coming out soon, and some of the set photos that we saw of the costume and shit like that. Now we actually got a trailer. What do you think of the trailer? You see the trailer, Sean, for Moon Knight?
It looks interesting. I mean, I'm kind of just reserved about a lot of those shows so far until I see it. Disney has been, and Marvel, I should say, for that matter, has been putting together pretty good content as far as their side shows to some of these movies. So I'm excited to see what it is, but I got to see it first. You know, I was that way with Loki. Loki kind of seemed, a little off to me until I watched it, and I was like, oh, okay. I was surprised, and it was really good.
Yeah,
so I'm kind of on the fence with some of these other ones too until I see it.
Yeah, they're using really obscure characters and trying to give them storyline and give them kind of interest and kind of introduce them to people. But what about you, AKA? What do you think about the trailer? We talked a little bit about Moon Knight and his origins and what the character was all about. Did you kind of like get a little sense of that in the trailer?
Yeah, you hear him talking in like different accents and whatnot. So like they kind of showed like different variants of him right there just by listening to when it first starts. But I really just want to see how good of a fighter he is, because in the comic he's supposed to be a badass motherfucker. He's supposed to be like raw prior to even getting the powers of Moon Knight or whatever it is. But yeah, I want to see how far they go with that, because from what I remember, from a little bit that I read of him, he's like a brutal ass version of Batman.
Oh yeah, he gets brutal. Yeah. It's like I said before, he has hella different personalities, split personality disorder. And based on what personality he is, he talks in that accent. He does that job. So one of his personalities is a fucking taxi driver. One of his personalities is a billionaire billionaire playboy like Bruce Wayne, on that type of shit. One of his personalities is like a little pervert. It's like a bunch of different shit. So it's gonna be interesting to see it acted out in live action, because I've seen it in the comic books. You know what I'm saying? He kind of like trips in his head. He doesn't know who he is at what time. It's kind of crazy. But it's cool to see a little snippet of it. It's coming out soon. I want to see what they got, man. Dude has been in a lot of stuff recently. He was in Dune, a couple of Star Wars flicks, right?
Yeah, he was Apocalypse in that fucking X-Men movie.
Yeah. He's been getting a lot of roles.
Yeah.
She-Hulk also was in one of the trailers they dropped that day. I don't know how interested you guys are going to be in She-Hulk, but it's going to be kind of like a crime, I want to say like CSI type comedy drama type shit. So I don't know how interested you guys will be in that, but it seemed kind of cool seeing her kind of grow and be the Hulk, but kind of like be kind of witty with it. She was one of the first characters in Marvel Comics to break the fourth wall and talk to the people. So it's going to kind of be kind of like, I don't know, comic-y like that.
Yeah, they show like a little CG part where I'm assuming it's supposed to be her in the She-Hulk, but it only shows her from the back.
Yeah, she grew.
Yeah, that shit looked real fake. I didn't like it.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of interesting looking.
Yeah.
What about you, Sean?
I think it's... that's one of the ones that I'm on the fence the other way, so I'm not really sold on it at all. I'll probably get around to watching it, but it's not high on the list. So
same here. I'm the same. Yeah.
I don't know how interested you guys will be in Miss Marvel either. You gave you a first look at that. It's kind of like a teen kind of CW type shit. We're probably going to review it anyways, but I don't know how interested. I don't know. They kind of did it already with the Miss Incredible. They've done it with like who else did it? Mr. Fantastic's the stretchy kind. They already kind of got the stretchy person in Marvel. So it's gonna kind of be interesting to see the variation of how they're gonna display her powers. You know what I mean? Next, there'll be more. Can probably have a discussion about X-Men '97. You guys remember X-Men '97 back in the day with the classic theme song?
Yeah, that was part of my Saturday morning routine.
Bruh, I swear, man. Because one of my favorite X-Men. Let's talk about our favorite X-Men. Who's your favorite X-Men?
Wolverine.
Wolverine, yeah, we talked about that a couple times. What about you, Sean?
Yeah. It's a tie between Wolverine and Gambit.
I was gonna say Gambit. That's so crazy.
Yeah, Gambit's up there
I was
too.
gonna say crazy. So I got Gambit. He
It's
got
definitely
Wolverine,
a tie.
Gambit tie.
It's a tie. I can't
fuck
pick
with-
between the two. So
Yeah. That's interesting.
every time I played the game, I always played with both. So
Yeah.
those are the only two players I ever played with.
Something about that staff, man. Donatello too. It's like whenever I played the Ninja Turtles, I picked the staff because you smack
Donatello.
niggas with that. You're not gonna really stab nobody with the swords, you know. So you can smack a nigga with the motherfucking.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But Raphael though, man, Raphael was tight.
Yeah, he had hands. He was a hot head.
Raph was tight.
You know what I'm saying? But he never stabbed nobody. If they had like a kind of like rated R Ninja Turtles,
Yeah, they would have to have
where they actually slice
Yeah.
people, I would think that would probably be Leonardo. Slice people with the double sword, double katana all the time. That's what I would do for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, with this X-Men 97, they're reviving the series and kind of starting it back where it ended. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on Disney Plus now. I think it's three to 5 episodes. I don't know exactly, but they're going to continue from there. And
Are we doing 5 episodes?
no, I'm saying seasons that are on Disney Plus from the past. I don't know how many there were exactly, but somewhere between 3 and 5 seasons on there you can catch up on. But it's going to continue after that. My thing is, I've heard some theories that they're going to use this as a way, as they continue this, as a way to introduce the X-Men into the MCU. And when they do bring it, they can use this as canon to bring them into the MCU. How do you guys feel about that theory?
I mean, that'd be dope. At least they'll have like a actual backstory or some shit, because the way everybody else been talking about it, they're talking about having like just like some event that caused mutants to just occur now, which is kind of weird because a lot of mutants have, prolonged backstories that, make them like a mutant thousands of years ago, like Apocalypse, or however many years ago, like Wolverine. But I like to see how they would do that. Like
they can use it as a bridge, kind of. You have the backstory from the cartoon, so that when you see them live on picture, you'd be like, "Oh, that's the backstory," and you can continue it being like, "Oh yeah, this is actually the backstory." But showing it in live.
But are they gonna have like the characters like in live action dressed up just like they would be in the comic? Because in the comic, I don't think that's gonna translate.
Well, yeah, you'd have to see what they revive it as in the cartoon first. I don't think these will be the exact costumes, though. I don't think they're gonna have Wolverine in that yellow and blue.
They failed every time they tried that. Every time they've tried to put somebody in the costume, like, you know what I mean, that's directly looks like the cartoon, they always fail. It's always a massive.
I feel like it has to be CGI.
Except for like Iron Man, Spider-Man, and like Thor are the only ones they.
That's a little different though, because Thor really doesn't have an outfit. It just, you know what I mean? Like, it ain't really all, Thor is it's Thor.
Thor. You just gotta have the hair. You gotta have the hair and the hammer.
Right. The hair, the hammer, as long as you got the hammer right, looking right, and the hammer looks like it's
the
hammer.
I mean, it's only Spider-Man and Iron Man.
That's all CGI.
Right. But that's all CGI.
So it's
and they changed it because the original Spider-Man, like the first ones with Tobey Maguire, those were terrible.
I didn't like those either.
Terrible.
But the ones with Iron Man and all the different suits that he got for him, that's when it got really interesting at that point, because I'm like, oh wow, now his suit can do something that adds to what he's already, you know what I mean, good at himself.
I personally don't like that too much. I don't like the assisting. It takes away from his powers a little bit to me. I want him to really display what he can do. He's hella strong. I wanted him to be able to do all that shit without the auto killed fucking mechanism on the suit or the fucking Jarvis talking in his ear type shit. Nah, be Spider-Man. Don't be Iron Man Spider-Man. You got one of these characters we're going to discuss soon that's going to be the new Iron Man, you know what I'm saying? And they got Armored Wars coming out too. So they have a lot other shit, to do that way. But me personally, I think we should get into the not to kind of cut off that topic. I want to get into the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Did you guys see that?
I did.
Yeah.
They dropped yesterday. That kind of ties into the Spider-Man talk we were just having, but because it kind of speaks into the redemption. They had Jamie Foxx in a new outfit. You see Jamie Foxx in his new Electro outfit?
Mhm.
Yeah,
That
had the little
should've-
horns, the little fucking spikes on his head for like a split second. You see that shit?
I didn't see that part, but I saw the kind of suit he had on him and that kind of conducts the electricity. That shit looked way 16 times more hard than that blue
The other one,
shit that he
right.
made him look like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They still didn't show Tobey Maguire or young Garfield, but they're probably gonna have him in the movie. They just want to spoil it, like have you be surprised. They're doing this whole multiverse thing where they're gonna bring everybody in and kind of give it one last hoorah, because you saw they had Doc Ock, the Sandman, William Dafoe is this gonna play. His voice was for a Green Goblin. I want to see if they're gonna put Tom Hardy in this as Venom to connect it all. That'll be interesting to see as well. And then there's gonna looks like the villain.
Right.
I feel it because it is a Sony property, and I don't know if we're gonna fully cross over in the MCU yet.
It'll probably be like a end credits scene. Thing,
Right. Because from what I heard, this is going back to the last Venom movie. They was asking if it, was going to include Spider-Man and whatnot, because they're so closely tied to each other.
Yeah.
So they didn't know how they were going to do it, especially when they did the first one the way they did, in the other Spider-Man movie where they introduced Venom in that movie.
Right.
They kind of messed that up. So they redid it when they made the Venom movie now. But they said it's going to be at least a couple Venom movies before they cross over with Spider-Man and Venom in the same movie.
I feel that. Also, I just kind of thought it would probably have a cameo because they are setting up the Sinister Six in that movie. Morbius is another movie that Sony's putting out. They're doing this kind of like Spider-Verse type thing. And all the kind of villains and stuff. They're doing movies and TV shows based on them, probably movies more so. So it'll be interesting this is the MCU movie. I don't know. It's kind of convoluted. Who knows? Be interesting to see. But you guys see the scene where Mary Jane was falling, just like Mary. I think it was what was Emma Stone's character's name in that movie? I don't think she was Mary Jane in that one, was she?
Yeah.
Gwen something. Was that
Gwen Stacy.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
that's
so
right.
That was his girl, and he died the same way, same character. So it's gonna be interesting to see what they're gonna do in that. So that was another trailer. I just wanted to get you guys' opinion on that.
You see like the part where they were like, he was jumping at them, and you see Electro, the big sand motherfucker, and the lizard, and there's like a part where like the lizard gets kicked by nothing.
Did see that? No.
Yeah, there's like a little trailer. I guess they put it out where I guess they let I guess it kind of proves they like edited some people out of there. Something else happened. They kicked them. Yeah.
Just so not to ruin the surprise.
Yeah, I think people speculated that was like the other fucking Spider-Mans. Yeah. But
that would be dope. And they better not be in it for only fucking 10 minutes at the end of the movie, like a cap to your left, that type shit. And they pop out for 10 seconds and fight. That'll be some bullshit. Real quick with these other shows before we get into some other topics. Secret Invasion's coming out. That should be interesting. The Skrulls, because you see, Nick Fury's up there with the Skrulls. But I don't know, they're kind of more depicted as good guys in the movie. So Secret Invasions in the comics, I'm sure it implied that they were doing some evil kind of ominous shit. You know what I mean? Marvel Zombies is coming out. I don't know if you guys enjoyed it on What If, but they're doing a whole series based on that. Agatha Harkness coming out with the show. I forgot exactly. House of Horrors. I want to say it's called. The House of Harkness is called. We got Ironheart, which introduces Riri Williams, who is going to be the new African American female Iron Man. Spider-Man, freshman year animated Spider-Man show, kind of shows you Spider-Man's adventures as a teen, as Spider-Man before he actually meets Tony Stark and gets the upgrades and suits and shit like that. Some of the adventures he went on before he actually got set up with actual tech and missions and shit like that. We talked about all that. Echo, not too sure. Haven't really heard of Echo. I might remember when I see her. Native American character. I don't really know her powers either, but that should be coming out soon. I think she's going to be in one of the Hawkeyes, which comes out in a couple of weeks. So they actually already give her a spinoff. So I guess she's a pretty prominent character in that show.
She's pretty much like, I think she's like Taskmaster.
Okay. Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, I think.
I think I feel that. Let me see here. What else we got? We got What If season 2, Loki season 2, which we kind of expected to see another episode of after we saw the little mixed episode with Gamora and Tony Stark that didn't really fit because we didn't see the episode. It kind of hints that there was going to be another season. There's some episodes that they cut out due to COVID, and they kind of had to rush the show out. I Am Groot series, which is probably going to be a kid series, a more kiddie type series compared to the Moon Knight series where we saw him beating somebody's ass with a baseball bat in the trailer. And then that's pretty much it. Like we said, we're going to probably be reviewing Hawkeye in the next couple of weeks when that shit starts. But that wraps it up for Marvel. And of course, on their Pixar side, we got the Buzz Lightyear movie dropping soon. And they're doing a bunch of animated shit that's coming out soon. Is it called Lightyear or something like that? Yeah, it's basically based off of what the toy is based off of, the actual hero the toy is based off of. Let's see. While we're on this Marvel stuff, let's talk a little bit about how Ryan Coogler and a couple of people that were working on the movie for Black Panther 2 were stating that they're not going to replace T'Challa. They're actually going to have him be dead, and they're going to start a new character, maybe his cousin or maybe his son that comes out of nowhere and take the mantle as a Black Panther. How do you guys feel about that?
It's his sister from the comics, at least. That's what it was. It was his sister that took over the mantle. So that's the way it was supposed to go, was her. And from the, the promo, like artwork that they come out with, it shows her with the Black Panther suit.
Okay, that'd be dope.
So
that makes sense.
It makes the most sense to just, everybody already likes her character. So, it makes the most sense to me.
I thought they should have figured out a way to keep his character around a little longer, just because he only had one movie, first real dominant Black, character that we got. They've changed characters before. They've changed Incredible Hulk, War Machine. They've done it a few times. They could have got somebody just to pull it out for a couple of a couple more movies and then slowly pass it over to her. But I feel it. They had that one dude that I said that I don't know the hell he is. He's like some small time actor, but looks just like what's his name, Chadwick Boseman.
I think friggin' dude from Snowfall can play like one of his relatives or could play a young him. They want to reprise it.
You mean the main character?
Yeah.
Okay.
If he worked out a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
There's a few actors that could have used.
Huh?
For sure. There's a few actors that would have been good in that role, I feel like. But hey.
Just so they can use that to like, I don't know, somehow like bring in Storm into the a little fray. Or whatnot, because they got a couple stories with T'Challa and her that, with him being gone, they can't really use those stories. So,
yeah.
But, or they can just make him white dude. What's his name? Dude, one arm, Winter Soldier.
make him Black Panther.
My Bucky.
White chocolate panther. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see because they can't just let all that shit go because they built a whole bunch of shit over there. Wakanda is a crazy ass and very prominent place in Marvel. And the actors and actresses they have in that series and that are reprised the roles are just monumental characters and monumental for Black history, Black culture. It's such a character that we have on this monolith right now that it's going to be kind of hard to replace them and see who's going to be next in line to be the Black Panther. But I'm sure they'll make a good choice. I mean, it's Ryan Coogler, it's his baby. So hopefully he'll make the next, great move and hire the next great person to be the next great character. There's plenty of characters in Marvel. I'm sure there's killer characters and they can create a character from Wakanda and we wouldn't bat an eye at it. You know what I'm saying? It's not really that hard to create another character though, honestly. Even though, our hearts are with T'Challa. We can make up that character right now. Think of an African name.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure they want to go with the comic or with something from the comic.
I
That
know,
was
yeah,
like,
but if they don't want to just like completely just use a different character, fuck up that whole storyline. If they're not going to use Shuri, if they're not going to use, if they're
I
going
mean,
to do some crazy,
they might as well use her though.
they kind
I
of.
don't
I
see the
feel like that's
point.
the only direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Unless they do some weird ass snap shit and bring
No,
Michael B.
if you're
Jordan
not
back.
going to recast it
they
to go
can
ahead and let.
definitely, huh?
I was saying if you're not going to recast, then to go ahead and let her go ahead and take the mantle like they did in the comics.
Right. And it
Yeah.
makes sense now. She's probably hella, well, I don't know if she was hella grown already in the movie,
I
but
wouldn't have been mad either way. If they would have recast it, cool. But if
Yeah.
you're not okay, then move on and let her take the mantle.
yeah, this makes
But
sense.
the question would be, would like that cast be enough to like demand a screen without, Chadwick Boseman?
Right. Yeah.
Because
That's the
it'd be
tough
pretty.
part. That's
Them
the tough part.
those sexist individuals out there.
And not just Chadwick,
Well,
but
not just the female cast, just he was like the demanding, character in the show and the
Oh
movie.
yeah. He's the one that introduced us to the whole Wakanda in the
mean,
first place. So who would they?
Mhm.
Killmonger is just as
Mbaku?
important too.
Mbaku?
He could be a good one. Yeah, they could bring
Killmonger.
Killmonger, but that'd be hard. They have to have a whole fucking movie just to like
Oh
get
yeah,
him to change his mindset, so he ain't trying to fuck up
Right.
everybody.
Right.
I mean, I'm still.
Right.
Hey, it should happen. I'm still on the side.
His
I'm
mindset was
joining. I'm
on
joining
some
the
Malcolm
army.
X. His
Yeah,
mindset was on some Malcolm X type. You know what I mean? So,
exactly.
and not everybody's cool with that mindset.
Yep.
More people are accepting of the. You know what I mean? The MLK type.
Yeah.
Personality.
And I don't think they're gonna
T'Challa.
change. I don't think they're gonna change that character either because they even had him have the same ideals in What If.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I think
Exactly.
that he's
They should
more. He's
just
like
keep it the way it is.
because he's like a more of an idea that you know what I'm saying that needs to be there, like this person that stands for something, and we're gonna always look to Killmonger as being that person. So for him
sure.
to exist is
For
important.
sure.
So
For
for
sure.
people to go back and change his character to
Sure.
Black Panther would just kind of
For
take
sure.
away everything he
Just
stands
like
for.
in history, we needed Martin Luther King, but we also needed Malcolm X too.
Right.
Just as important.
Right.
Just as important. In some people's eyes, even more important. So, you know what I mean? Like it's same thing with Killmonger. Killmonger, he wasn't a bad character. He just had his ideals, and either you agreed with him or you didn't. And some people agree with him more than other people, of course. But he was just as important.
Yeah, for sure. So all that we're excited to see. Interesting to see when that's going to be slated to come out and what the decision they are deciding to make. Let's see. Let's transition a little bit into hip hop here. We do actually have a couple of minutes here. Really quick take before we go into a commercial break. Get some water and come right back here. But let's start with R.I.P. Young Dolph. We got kind of far into this without saying that. A quick word here. He was killed out in his hometown, Memphis, going to get some cookies. Somebody ran up on him and shot him while he was grabbing his cookies from his place. He liked to go to grab some of his, and one of his favorite treats, man. Another one of our underground kind of street legends gunned down on some crazy nonsense that we don't really know about, but it's like, damn, why does everybody got to shoot each other? You know what I mean? But how you guys feel about that? You guys hear about the news?
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I didn't really. That's hella fucked up. I don't really hear it. Like, listen to his music. I can't really say I'm a super big fan or nothing like that. But it's still sad to hear about all these rappers, especially prominent names that are big, have really big fan bases out there, and big influence to a lot of people that brought up a lot of people in the game. See them pass away in such tragic ways, and before they really get their flowers. And I'm sure they're gonna get all their flowers now after they passed away, and that's hella sad. And that's hella fucking sad.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah, but
it's also just fucked up to see like everybody going to their own neighborhood that they grew up in,
right,
and end up getting killed. It just shows that real crab in the barrel, but mind state that a lot of motherfuckers still like hold when they see somebody around there who's from where they're from, instead of like congratulating them. They always
doing some wild shit.
Yeah,
I mean it's tough. It's definitely tough, man. It's always
hold that thought. Sorry about that, guys. Got cut off there, but we back. We back in the building. Go ahead, continue your thoughts. We was talking about young Dolph and how it was the crab in the barrel there.
Go ahead.
Crab in the barrel mentality.
Oh yeah, just the way keep happening. Like people getting knocked off in their own hoods. It happened to Nipsey Hussle. It's happening to him. It's happened to. I don't know if Mo 3 was in his actual neighborhood, but it was definitely in Texas when that happened.
Yeah,
So it's just like I don't know, but it's like somewhere that you frequent, that you go to a lot, is usually like the place where you probably want a good chance it's a place you're gonna die.
yeah. You can't do it as much as you
Yeah.
want to be back in the hood and kind of give back and be the guy to think you good in your hood. There's always somebody that want to take what you got, that thinks they need to be in your place. And I don't know, especially if you have beef with people in the neighborhood you're from, going back there. It's kind of crazy, especially that dude from that got out of jail that was in protective custody from Paid in Full. He went back to his neighborhood where people wanted to kill him and killed him because he went back to his neighborhood, tried to eat at a place or something like that. It's crazy mentality, man. I guess people want people to see you back in where you're from. It's like, oh, there you go, right there. He's still somewhere near. He's still down. He's still from here. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of times that gets you taken. A lot of times, and that's sad, man. That's real sad. That's real sad. Let's see. So R.I.P. Young Dolph, and hope some of this senseless violence stops. But I did see, which was a crazy ass stat. I think this year alone in the U.S., like 100,000 people died from like fentanyl overdoses. 100,000 people. Like that even goes more to show that people are actually seeking this shit out. That's not just a random coincidence. I don't know. Nuts. Another weird story here. Ghislaine Maxwell's trial is going to start. Do you think she's going to give out any names, or you think this is just a non-story? She's going to go there and keep quiet and get out of jail?
We will see, because I mean, with all the talks behind, what was going on behind there, she's got to know something, and I mean, it's really just up to what she can put out there. And
she definitely knows. She definitely knows.
Yeah.
And there's no way she doesn't know. She was the closest to that situation.
Yeah.
So she definitely knows names and places and all of that, And
she's in hella pictures.
Yeah.
And
this is an ongoing thing with the whole, the sex trafficking worldwide.
Yeah.
I think she knows a lot. And, will she talk a lot? I don't think so, me personally. But she's going to reveal some stuff, though, so
you think
we'll see how much of that is tangible to get other people taken down too. That was a part of it.
Yeah, like how much of what she says can be used against them.
Can be used, right?
That's the question. It's like, is she gonna come out here and just start making up a bunch of stuff, or is she actually gonna come out here and like say some shit that's like got some kind of credible evidence behind it?
Yeah, some merit behind it. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see the route she takes. Does she take that? I need to help these women, and it's enough is enough. Over this much time and me sitting in jail, I was able to think about what I've been doing and kind of have a change of heart. Or is she going to take the route of, I'm going to keep quiet? If I keep quiet, either my time in jail will be a lot more pleasurable, or maybe they'll even let me out of jail early because I didn't snitch on people. So we'll see what route she takes. It's an interesting route because we already know what happened to Jeffrey Epstein. And she's really close to that man. So who knows what's going to happen? The trial started this week. Just a random topic. We're going rapid fire now. Another rapid fire topic, Staples Center. The heralded Staples Center in LA has recently agreed to a new name licensing deal to change the Staples Center's name to Crypto.com Arena. Doesn't sound right coming off the tongue. Still sounds kind of corny. Mm-hmm. And how do you say I sold my soul without saying I sold my soul? You know what I'm saying?
They sold the Staples. And
I feel it, but Staples, crypto.com.
It's not like the old stadium was the Forum. The Forum is not named after anybody or anything. It's just the Forum. That was the name of the stadium, was called the Forum. But now, with Staples Center, they've been doing that. This ain't nothing new.
So they didn't think about
Crypto.com is just a wave. So
they didn't think about gang violence at all when they named that shit. They put something called the Crypto.com arena in the middle of LA. Ain't no bloods ever gonna come there. Oh hell no! You better call this the Brypto.com.
Brypto.bomb. Is what they would say.
That shit is hella funny, but that's an interesting take. They didn't release how much money the deal actually cost, but LeBron playing at the Crypto. You think LeBron got a bunch of cryptocurrency in the deal? Yeah, his hand somewhere in there.
Probably.
I ain't playing in no damn cryptocurrency Crypto.com arena. This is a Staples Center. No, I feel it. Next here, let's talk a little bit about Day in Vegas, man. And Kendrick, there's a big festival, bunch of big acts, kind of like Coachella-ish. Kind of the biggest names in hip hop kind of headline these 2 days in Vegas. We just saw what happened with the Astroworld stuff. We talked about that and the tragedy that happened there. We just found out the 9-year-old that was in the coma from being injured there actually passed away, and another lady passed away as well, making the death total 10 there, man. It's just it's wild to think about how crazy festivals have come. Back in the days, there was nowhere near as wild as this, man. Like a lot of the artists we like to see, we respected them to the point that we wanted to see them perform, and like we don't want to fuck up the performances by going too hard. I know they wanted to see us there having a good time, but there'll be no way we're gonna kill somebody while trying to enjoy it. It's crazy to see. I just say this to say RIP all those 10 people, but Day in Vegas looks like something completely the opposite. You saw Kendrick Lamar come out there and perform for the first time in 2 years. People will be ecstatic to see him. When he came to the stage, people were probably rushing to the front to see him. But you saw nothing like the shit that you saw in the Travis Scott concert. I don't know if it's because Kendrick Lamar is more of a peaceful artist. He raps more about shit that don't really put the crowd in a trance like that. But I just wanted to bring up that and kind of like talk about some comparative values when it comes to their fan bases and some of the shit that we've seen. Some people were kind of trying to say that Travis Scott was throwing out there like satanic ritual stuff and symbolism to try to get the kids to do crazy shit and frequencies to get in their head to make them do crazy shit. I don't know. It's just a lot of shit going around. And I didn't want it to, have a bad name shown to hip hop music and hip hop concerts and how hip hop has become, because look at how Kendrick Lamar's concert has been, how that performance was. We haven't seen him in hella long, and he's out there performing 37 songs and we didn't hear about nothing happening. You know what I mean? I don't know. How do you guys feel about that?
I mean, maybe it's the age levels of the fans, because I'm assuming that Kendrick got a lot older fans because his music is a little more complex. And, when you got older fans, they tend to not act as reckless as a lot of younger dudes do. Because them motherfuckers at Old Boy's concert was like jumping over fences, and when that fence fell, they was running over motherfuckers like it was nothing. So, I mean, like, clearly he got younger fans, because, what is a 9-year-old doing at a concert?
Why?
Yeah, I don't get it. Yeah. So.
That's nuts. I think I heard he was on his somebody's shoulders too, and the person that was
his dad.
Yeah. Shit's nuts. Shit is crazy. Now
It's crazy, I'm not a parent, but I know if I was a parent, or just me being an uncle of nieces and nephews, I don't want anybody of that age at a place where there's a large crowd like that, because you can't control what the crowd does.
Right. Yeah.
Try to protect your son or daughter as much as you want, but with the crowd that size, you can barely protect yourself.
Yeah.
So how can you protect a child that's on your shoulders?
Right.
And making sure they're okay in a crowd like that is extremely difficult, and it's not something that just anybody can do. No matter how good of a parent you are or think you are,
or how big of a person you are,
or big. Yeah, it doesn't matter about size, because at that point, it's really more so about your instincts and your survival skills, more so than your size. You can have the most size in the world, or you can be the smallest person. It doesn't matter if you don't know what to do in a situation like that, or don't know how to react when, things around you are going, a little crazy. So, the kid should never be there at any cost, man. And I'm more so mad at the parents for having their kids there. in the first place, more so than anything an artist did or didn't do. You know, I don't want to crucify him without knowing all the facts too, because from the police's standpoint, there was somebody injecting people with some type of substance in their neck. So what was it that was getting passed around that way? So, you know, and I've been in large crowds where they've gone crazy before, and it's tough to know what to do. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? People start going crazy, man, and it's a domino effect of bad things happening.
Yeah. And we had a discussion about media and how they can spin stuff on past episodes. And I feel personally how Houston PD were kind of trying to spin that whole needle thing. I don't think there's really been much proof to that. I think it's kind of like something to kind of veer away from their negligence to their crowd control, because they didn't have enough people there to secure that type of a crowd. They were they're overpopulated. They had like 50,000 people. The place can hold 200,000 people, but they weren't staffed to hold 200,000 people. They were staffed to only hold as many as 50,000 that they sold tickets for. So a bunch of people snuck in. No matter how big you are, crowds of 50,000 people all going in one direction is going to fuck you over. You know what I mean? It's just a tough thing to deal with, and that's sad. But going back to Kendrick Lamar here, it's like, are you guys excited to see him back? You guys excited to see Kendrick Lamar back? Drop an album, drop something in this game. People have been talking a lot of shit lately. Who's the best? J. Cole, Drake, Kanye West, and his tirades. You know what I mean? So how do you guys feel about Kendrick Lamar being back and being able to try to kind of take the throne? Is he one of your top MCs out there?
Everybody kind of understands, at least, you know, to my knowledge, most people that, you know, understand, you know, the rap profession would say that Kendrick Lamar lyrically is the best there is. I mean, there are better people at this or that or, you know, whatnot. But as far as the people out that are rapping, I mean, even Kanye said it to some extent in his interview. Kendrick's that guy when it comes to lyrics. You know, there are people that make better songs. Maybe there are people that, you know, make better hits that chart better or, you know, anything like that. But as far as actual skill, he's the best one out right now, hands down, out of him, Cole, all of them.
What about you, AKA? Who do you think is the best out of the people out right now?
I'm more of a Cole fan, truthfully, when it comes to lyrics. But I mean, I fuck with Kendrick though, and Kendrick make good music. He definitely slick with the pen, so yeah, I'm looking forward to see what he got. You know, what he comes out with, because he has been just sitting back, just chilling. Is he still going to be releasing all the music he's releasing right now with Top Dog or what it is?
Oh no, I think he's actually he's going to split with them. Either he's dropping one more album with them and he's done, or he might be done now. He might have announced he's done already. He's going to start his own label. Baby Keem is one of his first artists off his label. So he's going to start doing his own thing. And I mean, I think he's big enough now that I think he can actually do that and afford to do that. Doesn't want nobody kind of restricting his release dates and shit like that. In my opinion, I don't know, man. Me personally, I'm a Lil Wayne fan. And he ain't dead yet, so I ain't gonna put none of these niggas over Lil Wayne, in my personal opinion, when it comes to peak skills. But Kendrick Lamar is dope. It's just sometimes with Kendrick Lamar, a lot of the times he kind of like, sometimes he doesn't really try as hard. And sometimes you can just peep the technique of his rap that he kind of gets away with a lot of stuff with his technique. I think J. Cole, somebody described J. Cole as like the Tim Duncan of rap, because his fundamentals are so good that he doesn't have to do too much to show you that he can hella rap and be a good ass rapper. You know what I'm saying? He's still gonna win you those chips, but it's not like super, super rapidy rap. He'll tell you some real ass shit that you can relate to in a slick ass way, but he won't hit you over the head, because he'll hit you with the double syllables and the double entendres, but you don't have to try too hard. He's super smooth with it, with the fundamentals of rap. You know what I mean? Kendrick Lamar is on another level. He does the weird voices. He does shit to show you that he's hella lyrical. I feel it. Drake himself, I think Drake is good at relatable rapping, getting you to, you know, feel what he's saying because of the shit that he does say. Kanye West more so instrumentation. A lot of people have copied him, and you see a lot of people, you know, vary off of his style. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know personally. I have them all like kind of at an even plateau, grouped in that group of five that it's like, fuck, they're all different to me. And I can't put
All
my
good at
finger
their
on
own individual way.
Mm-hmm.
exactly. But they're in this class to where it's like they're above everybody else when it comes to in the game. You know what I mean? They can
Mhm.
actually beef and say who's better than the other person, but I just don't really feel like this significant thing to show that this rapper is better than them on a super high level. You can talk about sales, but that could be manipulated as well in
Yeah,
weird ass
so
ways.
that's yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's good to see music coming out and everybody dropping that. Hopefully, after his performance, he said, "I'll see you guys again real soon." Hopefully, he goes on tour, drops another album, and we'll see a lot of shit going down. Sign some more dope artists because Baby Keem is pretty dope. Excuse me. Next, let's see what we got here. Excuse me. Have you guys been following this Kyle Whitehouse, whatever case?
Not really, but I've seen a little bit of it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, basically, best of bias listeners back during the BLM protests and stuff. This kid, sorry for not knowing all the details, but he's from some state, crossed the border lines with the AR, killed a couple of people at the protests, and just kind of
Mm-hmm.
walked by the police. Nobody stopped him. In the height of how these cops were killing unarmed black men for no reason, they let this young 14, I don't know how old exactly he was,
16.
16-year-old
Yeah.
white boy walk past the cops with an AR around his neck after killing two people and just walk across the street safely. And his mom dropped him off across state borders to,
Yeah, which makes no fucking sense.
yeah, to do this shit. Now he's on trial, and there's been a lot of crazy shit happening during the trial. One, I guess the judge's phone rang during trial, and it was like the song that Donald Trump comes out to when he comes to his press conferences or his speeches and shit. So people saw a whole bunch of bias there. I guess they didn't want the jurors to be like black, I guess. So they didn't really select jurors the natural way. They made Kyle Rittenhouse pull the names out of a bag and shit. Yeah, it was a bunch of stipulations, and they dropped one of the minor charges with the deadly weapon cases
Mhm.
against him. So a lot of shit's happening, and people think that he's actually going to get off. They're trying to label the people that he killed as like, ex-felons. They labeled one of the guys as sex offenders, and just kind of like trying to label them as evil people. So they kind of tried to justify killing them. You know what I'm saying? I guess one of the guys hit him with a skateboard, but that was after he had already shot somebody. You know what I mean? And I guess one of the guys had a pistol and wasn't aiming it at dude, but since he had a pistol, dude just shot him in the head. You know what I'm saying? Even though he was in no immediate danger. And they're trying to, it's kind of looking like the guy's going to get I don't want to say little boy because he knows what he's doing. This kid, he's going to looks like he's going to get let off. And it's really intense. The case has started last couple of weeks. I feel like it is kind of being kind of overshadowed with a lot of the stuff they're trying to put out there in the media. But it's a lot of shit because it's the same time the Ahmaud Arbery case is starting. You know what I mean? So they're already having a bunch of problems with that case too. They don't want to let reverends in. The lawyers are calling them black reverends. You know what I'm saying? Kind of labeling black people as blacks and black this, black that, while talking in testimony. So there's a lot of shit going on right now, especially with these cases, because everybody knows the Ahmaud Arbery case. A black man jogging down the street. I forgot exactly where it was, but they try to say he was stealing or has been around stealing shit in the neighborhood, and they basically shot him. And if I'm not mistaken, they may have like dragged him behind their car or some bullshit like that as well.
I don't know about them dragging him. I know they should definitely shot him.
I thought they did some other shit with his body afterwards.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I don't know. It was like way more heinous than just shooting him, I thought. But
shit, shooting him is heinous enough.
no, yeah, but I don't think that was it. I don't think that was it because they're trying to get hella other people from like being like accomplices in it. You know what I mean? So I don't think it was just as simple as somebody shooting somebody because they wouldn't, get other people going down for being accomplices and knowing what he's going to do and not being innocent bystanders and shit like that. But I don't know. I should definitely do more research into that case, but that case is starting, and people are thinking they're going to get off as well. And they shot this man in broad day. So if they don't go down for something as
they're talking about the conspiracy because of what happened behind the scenes. That dude worked for the police department for a long time, for like 25 years or whatnot. So he knows a lot of people on the inside as far as prosecutors, judges, things of that nature. The only reason this is getting brought to light is because of Sean King and some other activists out there that made it a public, no knowledge type thing. So that's the only reason why it's even going to trial, or even that people even got arrested in that whole situation.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's nuts, and it shouldn't even be like that. If you shot somebody,
shouldn't be like that.
That's nuts. That's nuts. Because they be for sure. If you black, they be at your house 2 days before you shoot somebody on some weird shit.
Sure.
But yeah, that shit's nuts. Let's see. I don't know if you guys care about this. After we talk about that somber stuff, but top 5 zip codes, top 5 expensive zip codes to live in the U.S. Can you guys guess? Act like you don't know already.
It's gotta be somewhere in Cali.
Yeah, for sure. Out here close to us in the Bay Area, Atherton, kind of by in the Palo Alto area, was number 1, followed by Boston, the Hamptons, Miami Beach, Hollywood Hills, Los Altos. Crazy shit. And then lastly, let's talk a little bit our thoughts about the Kanye West Part 2 interview, and before we get up out of here. Some final thoughts. We didn't get to talk about with you, Sean, but we talked about it a little bit on the last episode. But in this episode, he kind of talked more about his beef with Drake kind of being mended, and I think it might have been mended before the interview. Honestly, he just kind of like brought it up. They chopped it up really strategically because he was talking a bunch of shit in the beginning about a lot of people, but he was more so talking some real shit about the government and some shit. I don't know. It was just really interesting to see him go between chauvinistic, kind of narcissistic fucking Kanye West to being some kind of super intelligent guy that actually has some righteous mind, to going in between that shit. How'd you feel about Part 2, Sean?
I think he's always been that way. It's just people misunderstood him and take sound bites from him and run with that opinion. I'm not saying he's never said anything crazy, or, he's never, I shouldn't even really call it crazy. He just, his opinions sometimes are just out there. They're out there to a lot of people because a lot of people, like he said, are programmed to a certain thing. So when you say something that's against the program, everybody's always shocked. They're always, it's the reason why, people like Skip Bayless on TV, can say certain things and everybody all of a sudden it's a storyline. And it gets views and it gets people talking and it gets people, reading articles and, shit like that. And it's kind of the same concept. Kanye, he knows he's a smart guy, smarter than a lot of people give him credit for. And so some of the things he says are going to be shock value. And some of the things he says really have alternate meanings. He's just trying to get you to think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not trying to say that, nobody's perfect. I'm not trying to sit here and sing his praises like Kanye's never done no wrong, but he gets a lot of backlash, in the negative, in my opinion, wrongly, so.
Yeah. You didn't see Part 2, AKA, but like I was saying, just kind of, it was really interesting to see because, he was kind of saying every time he said something away from the norm, people called it crazy. Every time when he jumped on stage, took the mic from Taylor Swift, he's crazy. This is crazy. And I feel that there is like a lot of shit that probably when you are going against the norm, especially in Hollywood, they will kind of try to bring you down any way they can. He talked a lot about industry plants that are in the industry in rap music to try to keep us from becoming leaders in the industry, becoming leaders amongst our people. He kept calling us like kids of Israel or some shit like that. What was he saying? Jewish people calling the black people like
Israelites.
Something like that. He kept saying some really introspective things, but then it's like, I don't know. It's like it kind of made me realize that we kind of been mislabeling him a lot throughout this whole time. Political ideals aside, I mean, because personally, you're not really supposed to talk about politics, religion, how much you're getting paid, type like shit with people in the first place. So if you were to put all that kind of shit to the side, what he said about any of that shit, you kind of probably see him as a regular person, you know what I'm saying, and understand what he's going through, because he does talk about he does have bipolar disorder. But instead of stigmatizing it and being afraid of it, he even talked about therapy itself being one of those things to, you know, get Black people to be scared of and kind of make fun of, to stop them from getting well enough to become leaders and shit like that. He went really deep. He was like, when he went to therapy with his wife, all the therapists would do would try to hit on his wife and then try to give him prescribe him drugs. He would put it like that. He was like, hey, just want to talk to my wife, hit on my wife, and then give me drugs and call me crazy. I feel it. Yeah, I feel it. And it's like he is super creative. It's just not the normal way. He is like one of these artists, like a Basquiat, like a Van Gogh, that does his own thing. He gets there his own way, but he has a different way of getting there, of creating the masterpiece, but he does create it. And if you take time to understand that person, you know, he is a person of the people. He just thinks in a different way. And this interview actually does give us an insight to see it. And if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's out there on Drink Champs Part 1 and Part 2. Part 2 dropped this week. And actually, Big Sean did respond in a $1 million worth of game interview with Wallow and Gilly the King. On that side, I think he responded about how he just got his advance for good music was only $15,000 he got from signed by Donda herself or some shit like that. So if you guys haven't seen that response, go watch that as well. But we are getting into the end of the podcast, man. I got to go watch these shows. My girl probably mad at me if he runs another room. But yeah, this is the part where I like to let the people know where they can find you at. Let's start with Chief Sean. Where can the people find you at if they want to know more about you and what you got going on?
Sean _E. Sean is spelled with S3an _E. Is my Instagram handle. You can find me there, add me. That's where I'm at.
You know what I'm saying? And then AKA, where can they find you at? You got anything new going on? I sent you those verse stems and shit like that. Let me know if I need to re-record them, because I did get a little silly with it. I did try to, get a little bit vocals on there, you know what I'm saying? But if you can use them, by all means, use them verses. But anyways, let them know.
I mean, yeah, other than that, I'm going to start working on that pretty soon. I worked on a couple other songs, but nothing else really. I'll eventually post it on my Instagram. Was it Akio Young? I'll post it on there eventually, whenever I get around to making the videos and shit.
Highly anticipated videos, man. So keep checking in on the SoundCloud, keep checking in on the Instagram. You might find something new. Pop in, check in on all of our Instagrams. And you know where to find your boy at SAC_Lydell on the Instagram, Patrick_Lydell on the Snapchat. If you want to look for the podcast, you can find the podcast on the Best of Bias on the Instagram, Best of Bias on YouTube, and bestofbias.com. I do need to upload a lot of the most recent podcasts. I've been uploading really fast, so I haven't gotten the full podcast on the website. So for all the people that don't have Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, don't have YouTube access, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get those videos up those episodes up for you. Anime Kumite coming soon. I swear it is. I promise you, Anime Kumite is coming soon. Yeah, it's coming very, very soon. More pop culture coming next week. Every Friday is the drop day. You already know. Sean, we will see you back soon, I'm sure, to talk about some more sports and whatever we got going. If you want to come in on some of the reviews we do with Hawkeye, you can hop in on that. Plenty topics, plenty more coming soon. You know what it is, the Best of Bias podcast, man. And like we said, RIP Young Dolph. And big ups to the people, man. Stay blessed. Stay beautiful, everybody out there. And we out of here. It's the Best of Bias podcast. Where my theme song at? Hey.
It's the best of Bias. You need the earful. You should try us. From pop culture to the movies to unite us. It's the best of Bias. Your Best of Bias. Yeah. It's the Best of Bias.
You are now listening to the Best of Bias podcast.